Now it's not echoing up in this recessed ceiling. It sounds really good if it's not loud and it's right here, but it echoes. All right. So Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band sealed cassette, $53. So if you're new here, I stopped in an estate sale. Music collector, previous DJ. At his business back in like October, November. And I ended up with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of sealed cassettes from things like the Beatles and Pink Floyd and Led Zeppelin and the Rolling Stones and all kinds of other stuff. And I've sold sealed cassettes from $10 to, I think the highest priced one was it was $500. It was another Beatles. And a whole other variations of pink side loader cassettes and all kinds. So I still have a bunch left. And that's one of them. And a matter of fact, the guy who ran that estate sale, I'll go to a couple of his. There's another estate sale I was going to go to today, but I can't right now. But it's in Shaker Heights or Beechwood, a fairly affluent area. And there's a Marantz 3600 record player there with box, the dust door and all that. Hopefully it's still there tomorrow. I mean, I'll still go tomorrow. If it's there, cool. It's used their minimum like mid 2000, and they sell better condition with a lot of the other, just better condition for $3,000. But this would have the box, and with the box, you're going to guess probably has a manual. And if it has a manual, it's probably a $4,000 record player. And if I can pick it up for cheap, I'll make sure that it's boxed up right when it goes outbound. And if it has a box, that means that it probably has the foam and all the other padding that would go with it. All right, so in the background outside is a bunch of stuff that's got to get done, taken apart and trash thrown out, and I got to get the scrap metal from it. But there's 10 orders. It's easy for me to pick, easy to package, and I can get to that. And I'll go live for that too for anyone who's interested. So probably an hour, not even, whenever it'll be. After this shuts down, I package this stuff up, put outside, and I'll be doing that. That way, that's done. All right, Julianne Theory, which is actually in the CD player, but I do have another copy of it. Oddly, when I got this CD, there were 2 copies. So I have the last one that's in the CD player, so it'll be the 5th CD. And that one I've listened to I don't know how many times. It just this specific one just has a lot of great sound, and the last couple tracks is called You Always Say Goodnight. And it's very, very interesting. And then another track goes into more sound, more instrumental than the actual. And at the very, very end of the song, he goes, You Always Say Goodnight. It's a good song with a lot of good sound to it. But that was kind of cool because this is one I would have kept. It's not a whole lot, but I'm glad someone else is going to enjoy it. $9. All right. This classic Russian cooking cookbook. 33. 3-3. I've actually had that one for a little while. Not too long, but long enough to be like, yeah, I've had it for a little while. Good VHS. 51. David Lynch. Wild at Heart. Look at there. Early Nicolas Cage. And is that Laura Dern? Laura Dern from Jurassic Park. 45 bucks. C25. Is that it? Sure is. All right. This Schubert, Cleveland Orchestra. A lot of Cleveland Orchestra. Is this the Cleveland Orchestra? Yeah. George Zell. A lot of Cleveland Orchestra sells well. I was watching something like some history bits and pieces, like the Rise and Fall and Rise of Cleveland. I forget the exact title. I would have to go through my watch history, just kind of figure out what it is so I could even link it. But in there, I'm going to find out the Cleveland Orchestra is rated Bruce. It's rated like the best orchestra in the world or something like that. So that would explain a lot on what, and then the Severance Hall. But this, I mean, I find a lot of Cleveland Orchestra and it sells. And that's one of those things that I'd say that in my regular videos, I mean, I would have never really thought. And then I start looking some up, and some are 30, 40, 50 bucks. But this one is not either of those. This is 20 bucks. Yeah, I mean, you're going to probably find a lot of, oh, that breeze. It's not quite as warm. Past yesterday wasn't too bad. All right, I think this is the last one of this Star Wars. It is. So last one of this Star Wars 13. So I stopped at the Habitat for Humanity up here, whenever it was the fall last year. Probably got 12 of these for $1 each, right? And they've all sold for right around 12 to 14 bucks. And if you're new here, I do free shipping on everything but auctions. And there's not really a whole lot. It's usually just going to be a small culmination of something that I'm like, yeah, I'll just weigh it up and get the dimensions. And if I get something on it, cool. If not, it's gone. Um, yeah, I'll talk about a lot of the scrap stuff when I get to taking all that stuff apart and get all that sorted. Another fairly lower end CD, but it is enough to make money on. And I think this I probably got from that same place where I got that cassette, because I got a box of CDs and some other mixed CDs, some 8 tracks, and some cassettes. And the very big Carla Bly. Another Cleveland Orchestra right here. Nothing to go crazy about. $7.95. Woohoo! But I probably got it, and looked it up, and I don't remember exactly what it was. It was probably maybe a couple, maybe 3 or 4 have sold on Terapeak for $8 to $10. I'm like, I mean, it stands a better chance than something that's there's only been one sold and it sold for $9. If 4 have sold, it's likely to sell fairly soon enough. Newsboys, C39. And who's playing right now is this Steve Hillage. I'll talk about Steve Hillage here in a minute. I mean, I'm no aficionado. I'll just tell you what I learned. Yeah, Newsboys, Born Again, Miracles. I don't think that's it. Oh, very, very top one too, right here. $10. If there's any cat, we'll find out in a second. These will be in neither. Keeps sunglasses and glasses and stuff. Actually, I just moved the box because I don't buy a whole lot of them because they're not really super common to find. But I'll wait until I get like 25 or 30 frames, and I'll put them in the dishwasher to clean them and stuff. And then I'll list them. And sometimes, they do take a little while. Sometimes I'll buy bags, like a bag of 30 frames for $20 or something, because that's going to be cheap in comparison for frames. If there's 3 or 4 in there that, the total sales amount is $100. The other junk metal ones, well, there's not a whole lot of it, but the junk metal can either go in as aluminum or can go in as steel. And I just started doing that. And then the plastic ones, I just take down to my mom, and family will go through the rest of the sunglasses and frames and stuff. But I got 3 boxes of these. Three boxes of just frames in general. So these ones aren't too bad. I've had them for a little while. There are a couple scuffs on the yeah. You can see it. All right, good. But this is a pair of Oakley Jawbreakers. Like that. So you can see through, and then whatever those things are for, probably to hold like this. I don't know. All right, but $75. And Joe Bonamassa, C38. And Joe Bonamassa, 15. Well, figure it's a kitty farm if you guys can see all those. Steve Hillage. All right, so that's 10, 297. Can't see it well, but 10, that amount. Go up here. If I have any comments, cool. If not, then I'll say something about Steve Hillage, something real short. Ja, my amigo, how are you? This one is awesome. Grown so much in this. Awesome. I mean, obviously, as you can tell, I'm probably by a lot of my my musings. I don't do YouTube for any money. You know, if I was really pressed about it, there'd be a whole lot more what I just call theatrics. You know, there would be uh, graphics and stuff in my videos and so on and so forth. I've mainly more so considered what I do for YouTube as just like a vlog, a video blogging, a video log of different things. It's not really to pick a certain point, just kind of talk. And people who resell can relate, and that's it. That's about it. So if there's little things here and there that I say and do that other people like, and if they implement it and if it works for them, that's the point of the channel. Help me, help you, so we can help other people. What? Approximate time? I'm not gonna do. I mean, I could go live packaging 10 items. I do have a couple packaging videos that would be an explaining things playlist. I know I have at least one. I believe I have two. A second one might be in a live somewhere. But this is me just picking the orders. So usually I would, before I just did videos, and the videos, if it would turn out to be a half an hour recorded and it turns out to be a 15 to 20 minute video that was going to post, I still have to watch that half hour. And I still have to back up, rewind, cut, back up, rewind, cut. And so half an hour recorded video can easily be not only that half hour, but another hour editing before it even posts. So I don't do that. Now I just do live because that took up time. And with that same time for me on YouTube that I'm not making money on, I can spend that time with stuff like that. Stuff I find in the trash that's metal. I mean, I just cashed out another $200 of brass, a little bit of steel and insulated and aluminum. The other day, I just took in 70 pounds of brass. You know, $2 a pound. It took a month to get that, but that's $140. And then the steel and the little remnants and stuff. I just wasn't. And then the whole patio was clean. So the same time frame I could do that I'm not making money on, 2 hours a day for videos and editing and posting. I could just do these live with the criteria on when I do go live. Spend some time. I drove by and I saw 2 lamps. And then the other people were like, hey, yeah, there's a whole dumpster and this whole driveway's full of stuff. I filled up a Ford Fiesta. All right. So that's for packaging wise. And then I started micro scrapping. There's some live videos. There's also playlists of that. But now if you really putting my mind to it a little more, yeah, this free metal stuff is all over the place. And at the price of the scrap now, logistically, it makes there's people who've been scrapping for hundreds of years. Right? People have been scrapping forever. But to me now, I was like, yeah, now it's a little more worth the time to pick some of this stuff up. And then you still get a lot of the chaff, a lot of the steel and aluminum, but the average price for what I get right up here, may as well. I mean, last month I cashed, well, minus my first cash out, it was still $500 last month in scrap that I took in. I went in 4 times because I had to. But yeah, so I packaged, I mean, I could even show an example now. I believe okay. I'll do that now, so this can run 20. Yeah. Let me talk about Steve Hillage for a second. So Steve Hillage, I don't know a whole lot about him. But I scanned it and I looked it up, right? And I was like, all right, well, it's enough for me to buy. And then I look on the back and it's 1983, 1990. I'm like, all right, well, it's definitely it's going to be an 80s feel. What's common sound in the 80s? I'm going to start reading some of the back here. Then I come home after I'm all said and done. I look him up, and he is a experimentalist, kind of, if you will, of electronic sound and synthetic sound from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. I'm like, oh, interesting. So I put that in, and seems to be pretty good. This is probably the 5th time I played it. And so that's about all about him. All right. As for packaging, so I have different packaging things here. All right, so these glasses. So I live half an hour from Supply Hut. So if you resell, if you buy supplies online, you've probably seen Supply Hut. I live a half an hour from them. I live near a lot of stuff. When it comes down to selling circuit boards to a company, there's a company called Board Sort. You could sell internationally if you wanted, but United States, people ship to Board Sort, which is in Alliance, which is a little over an hour from here. And Board Sort is actually like a mile, well, maybe a couple miles, but one major block from where my dad lives. He doesn't live in Alliance. I mean, it's still Alliance right there. But so I get these boxes for like 15 cents, 20. I mean, I forget what I even paid. It's about half of what most people will pay online because I go and then I pay cash and pick up. But anyhow, these will get wrapped up in plastic grocery shopping bags. 3, 1, 2, and then the third one to kind of keep all that in there. And then this will go in this box like that. And then, even if it poofs, that's good. Tape it up, weigh it up, and it goes. So that is an example of that. Another example are cassettes. So since this is about a $50 cassette and it's sealed, although it does have those on the back. So this goes about halfway. And I'll fold this so it pretty much covers right about there. And I'll just take that and I'll fold that over. And I'm going to want to try to protect the front more than anything because if any damage happens, I would prefer it to happen on the back. I haven't had any damage. I mean, I may refund somebody a couple bucks here and there, but I haven't had anything to be worrisome about. So I want to try to protect the front a little more. It's not going to be a whole lot more, but still. And then I'll peel the sticky off, do that, and just tape around that. And those get pushed in a little with the tape, put a label. It's on its way. CDs, DVDs, Blu-rays. CD will go in like this. And this is another one I got from Supply Hut. These I paid I got 2,000. I got 2,000 of them for $200. So these envelopes, which are probably going to cost 18 to 20 cents for most people, for most of any other place, I get them for 10 cents each. All right. So then I will tear down the side like this, and then I'll take that flap and I'll fold it back beneath that. That way it's on the inside. Take this flap. That way it's a little more protected. It's less protected down here, but still I don't deal with problems with damage. If you look at my feedback, it's like very well protected. Glad this got sent in a bubble envelope, stuff like that. Same thing will apply for that envelope, for Blu-rays and DVDs and basically whatever I can fit in there, in books and stuff. This VHS, depending where it's going, if it's staying relatively local, it'll just stay in one. It's about a $50 VHS. If it's going a little farther, I'll get one of the other 10-cent ones and put that in there and then put that in here. That way it gets that extra bubble. I don't want a $50 cassette, since chances are it's going to go media. At that mark, yeah, it'll probably go media. If it's going 3 towns over, it'll just go in a single envelope and go from there. And then books. And then this book, then I've got another bigger envelope that I also buy from Supply Hut. And those ones are, I think I paid 15 cents. 15 cents each. I think they're like a 10 by 12. So that's a generic rundown on the packaging. And I just weigh them up. And if something weighs 8.5 ounces, it's 8 ounces. Something is not what it is not. So a lot of people say round up to the nearest pound, round up to the nearest ounce. If 8.5 is only 8.5 and it takes another half to get to 9, 8.5 is not 9. Something is not what it is not. Don't round up. Be accurate on your left, right, on that inch. That extra half is not going to do anything. It's like, well, it's 16.9 pounds, round up to 17. No, just type in 16.9. Let the system do it. Granted, if you just round up to 17 pounds, 0.0 ounce or 0 ounces is at that 17 pound rate. 17 pounds 1 ounce is now the 18 pound rate, right? So you don't have to round up. Just type in what the number actually is, and 8.5 is not 9. All right, that's my take on that. You probably can't really hear the Steve Hillage. It's pretty cool. That's for the people who like the trains. Kind of a synth, electronic. You might be able to hear a little bit of the sound. Uses cowbells. I think this is one that has quite a bit of an organ. Really interesting organ use. Yeah, it's still a 9-ounce package, but I'm not going to put in something that's 8. I'm not going to put in something that's 7. But 8.5, it still gets how it goes in the shipping calculators. If it's 8.5, it's still going to be the 9. It's still going to be charged the 9 rate. Or for that matter, I mean, they don't do it by the 9s, and it's all every 4 ounces. But as soon as it goes from that 8.5, and if you have something that is 9, 8.5 and 9 is going to be the same price. As soon as it goes 9.1, that's a different rate. I'm just saying that when you're measuring up, you don't have to round up. It's going to register the right information that it needs to be. And plus, this is media mail, so I'm going to have a box that's as big as this hallway. Whatever the weight is, I mean, I'm getting really exaggerated with this, right? I can have a big box. I can have a 14-pound box. And if I want it to go media mail, the dimensions don't matter. When I do dimensions, it's on anything that's first class. And even at that, anything under a pound doesn't matter either for dimensions-wise. because it's still under a pound. Ground advantage still technically under the first class rating. Because if it wasn't the first class rating, which was every 4 ounces, then they wouldn't have that same pricing. That's still every 4 ounces. So I mean, I'm not telling anybody to skim themselves out of money, because they will, the scan weighing systems, they will find it. They will pick it up. Like, oh no, that's not 7 ounces. That's 1 pound. They will definitely pick that up. Sometimes I'll get a ding for a DVD that's or a disc set or something that's 8 ounces, and then next thing you know, I'm getting a ding stating that it's 16 pounds. Like, what? That doesn't happen. I'm like, oh, and then I have to argue with eBay. It's like, how does the DVD weigh that? Yeah, ground advantage. I mean, it's all, yeah. I mean, what's ground advantage is known as for postal wise. I very rarely will I use any other service or system, FedEx or UPS. Very rare. I mean, I do. I have. Mainly it's media. I mean, I do have some audio equipment. I got that big Tascam, TIAC Tascam tape recorder. That's in a big box, right? I just listened to a Kai, like a $300 record player. That's in a big box. So whatever that comes up cheaper for me wise for shipping service. But so if something is 17.5 inches, as I'm measuring it, I'm typing in 17 inches. If it's 22.8 inches, I'm going to type in 22. If I get dinged for something that's not cubically correct, I've never been dinged for anything that's not cubically correct. You can round up. I'm saying you don't have to round up. You don't have to round up. A number is a number that it's not. And if anything, I've never been dinged, and I'm not trying to scalp any of the shipping services. Let's see. Yeah, you're not. Anyone who's not rounding up isn't doing anything illegal or anything harmful or anything wrong. They're just not rounding up to the nearest number, which is still going to be the same rating information that the system needs. It's as soon as you go beyond a certain whole number amount, and then you're into the decimals, nothing really changes until it's at a 0.1. And then that only matters until the next 0.1. So 16.8 pounds is still just 16. It's going to be charged at that 17 rate, but the person doesn't have to type in 17. They could just type in 16. And if it requires 16 and 8 ounces, right? I'm hoping you get what I'm saying. I'm not trying to get anybody to do anything wrong, because there's nothing wrong with it. And then if there is something wrong with what somebody's putting in the system, the measuring and weighing and conveying system will catch that. How long is this now? About a half hour. All right. So whoever wrote something, I don't know if it's the same one. I do have other a video about just the different packaging that I do. It's a longer video. I think that was like a $2,000 day, sales day. I made that one. I made another one not too long ago. It might be in a live. Instead of that, get this stuff weighed and packaged, and then get to doing the scrap, and I'll go live for the scrap. We'll figure it out. All right, appreciate it. Thank you.